in what ways would you say direct selling companies, from what you've seen, and the nice thing is I know you've worked within direct selling companies, and in your new role, you have worked with multiple direct selling companies, so it gives you a nice perspective across the industry. How are we flying blind right now, us as direct sellers, direct selling companies?
Well, I think that what it comes down to is data, right? The ability for the organization to be able to react rapidly to changing market conditions. And I think that at this point, a lot of that is caused by technology limitations. So what I've observed, and it just varies enormously depending on the company, is that if they rely at this point, let's just say they're a small direct seller, they're relying on the data flowing from back office tools. And the problem with that is that some of those back office tools are a little archaic in the way that they're currently managing the business. So then the data that's coming out of it isn't able to look at the level of granularity that you would want to see when you start introducing unstructured data into the equation. It's not just about, it's not as binary anymore. It's not, did this transaction occur here that resulted in, this customer? And we talked earlier about, what persona that person has. So all of a sudden, you really do have to start looking at a back office environment that has that future vision, and they have actually started to improve how they're then being interfaced with these modern commerce platforms. Because right now it's an apple and an orange; they're two different things. The bigger organizations recognize that early. The reality when we sort of rewind back to at the time where I was working in those organizations. That's where you start to look at it and be a little more proactive in it. And you have to build, and I'm using buzzwords, but you basically have to build a data lake. You have to then, once you've got that data foundation in place, be able to then cleanse that data, because in that lake, it's meaningless unless you've actually got a way to translate that information appropriately. And then it then feeds into the systems that then produce the predictive analytics and actions. But architecturally, it's a very complicated thing to do, and requires, for most organizations at this point, still a fairly large investment. So it's not something that a small direct seller could jump into right now at this point. The technology and the investment behind it is fairly high.